fuck are we doing on this earth, man? Every day, most of us wake up and go to a job that we really don't fucking like, but we can't really quit because we got to get the money to pay the bills that they say it's important to pay. What the fuck is the point of this life, man? We go to grocery stores and buy food that God gave us for free. Why the fuck did we pay for lights? Well, that's just the way it is. Fuck you. I'm tired of all this "that's just the way it is" bullshit. This whole fucking system is garbage. America ain't nothing but a big ass fucking plantation, man. A big ass fucking plantation. What the fuck are we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth. And I'm not saying I want to unalive myself and nothing like that. But I'm tired, man. It's like, what the fuck is the point of any of this? To work till we 60, 70 years old? Most of us ain't gonna fucking live to see 50. But we gotta work to maybe retire? Man, fuck you and all that bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck about who president, left, right, and all this dumbass shit. I'm tired of this whole fucking game, man. It's a big ass game. It's a big ass charade. America is a fucking plantation. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say about it, man. This shit is exhausting. Like, I don't even want to look for another job. I'm gonna walk in there, they gonna ask me, why do you even want this job? Bitch, because I need some fucking money to pay the bills that they tell me is important to pay. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Hey, Shalom, this is the brother Abaya back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha HaKadosh. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Yeah, as you can see in the video that was just played, Jake is losing it over the curses, man. And, Jake don't really understand the curses. And when I say curses, I'm speaking about, the curses spoken of in the book of Deuteronomy, specifically the 28th chapter. How the Israelites are suffering curses from disobeying our power, Yahweh, all right, and his commandments. And not just the so-called 10 commandments, but the whole covenant, all right, the whole first covenant, which came with over 600 commandments, all right? But, really, Jake don't even understand, and just people in general don't understand that man on earth is still going through curses from Genesis, all right? As you see him in the video, he's snapping about having to work a 9 to 5 and working just to pay bills. And these are valid questions. These are valid, frustrations to have. But if you were familiar with the scriptures and you had the understanding and the wisdom and the Spirit of the Lord upon you, you will understand why things are thus, all right, why things are the way they are, all right? So let's go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and let's read verse 19, all right? And this is after Adam followed the woman, Eve, and partook upon the forbidden fruit, the forbidden knowledge that they weren't supposed to partake in. And the Lord cursed them for doing that, all right? They disobeyed him, so he put curses on them for that. One of the curses that women suffer is that they give birth through pain, all right? Women that give birth, they have a lot of pain when they give birth. Well, that's a curse that goes back to the book of Genesis, man. So the fact that we're working these 9 to 5s, which I'm going to read it, all that goes back to Genesis, in the beginning. Genesis chapter 3, verse 19, it reads, "In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground." Right? You got him in this video. He's saying, man, most of us will only live to 50, 60, and we working all the days of our adult life. Well, look, this is the curse. "In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground." All right, the way you're going to be able to eat food is by working your ass off until you return to the ground. All right, that's a curse. "For out of it was thou taken, For dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. Now, of course, every curse does not affect every single body the same way, every single person the same way. All right, you got some people that work harder than other people. You got some people that make more money for their labor. All right, but this curse is in full effect. Okay, especially amongst the righteous seed that came from Adam. All right, through Enoch. You got Seth, Shem from Noah. All right, all the way till you get to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But yeah, as you can see, this began in Genesis. Now, the questions that this guy asked, like I said, they're valid frustrations and valid questions. They're questions that also Esdras had. All right, so if we go to the book of 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, and then we're going to start at verse 59, and then we're going to go over to chapter 7. And this is Esdras asking the Lord, power, Yahweh, if the world is made for his chosen nation, Israel, why are we going through the things that we have to go through on the face of this planet Earth? This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Yeah, how long should we have to go through these curses, right? Valid question, all right? Valid question. But see, when you don't have the wisdom and understanding and the comforter, most importantly, the comforter, which is the spirit, which is the scriptures, to give you ease of mind and a sense of peace, you're going to be crashing out like that, or ready to crash out like that dude in that video. All right, you got people like him that have, really crashed out and, killed themselves or killed people, then killed themselves, or just decided to rob a bank, or just do anything, to survive, rather than have to deal with the stress of this world. Or like I said, just leave and they just kill themselves. All right. But let's go into the answer of the Lord that he gave Esdras of why we have to go through these things. And it's going to tie into to Genesis once again. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 7, verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. The sea is what? The sea represents abundance, right? Abundance, that's what the sea represents. Verse 4 says, But put the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? So liken the sea unto abundance, which is like the kingdom, all right, the kingdom of heaven. But the entrance there, all right, to paradise, remember, the earth was initially supposed to be paradise, Aidan in the Hebrew. All right, you had a garden put in paradise, which was the Garden of Eden. All right, over there near of the land was known as Mesopotamia, over there in the eastern part of the world. But yeah, the whole world was initially supposed to be paradise. So that's what we're waiting to get back to. All right, paradise. But the entrance thereof is narrow and like a river, right? Verse 5. Who then can go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So the Lord set it up to where you have to go through this narrow path, all right? There is also, verse 6, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of good things. This is going into the kingdom, all right? The sea, all right? The city. Verse 7, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and only left a deep water. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. So not only do you have to deal with these curses, all right, you got to deal with sin, because we live in the flesh, and in the flesh, is corrupt. You're sown in iniquity. So guess what? Not only do you have to be under these curses, you have to deal with transgressing against your power. And you have to fight the good fight of faith, all right? The fight of righteousness, all right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Verse 9, it says, if this city now were given unto a man for inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So the Lord is like, yes, the earth is made for your sake, but I've made the entrance narrow, and you got to go through this hardship first. And, that's how a father is supposed to deal with his son. All right, if you're a prince ready to inherit the throne, you let's say you were a king and you were given the throne to your son, the prince, the heir to the throne. You just want to give it to him you just want to give him the throne without putting him through any hardships, through any trials, through any tests. No, because then you're just gonna put a horrible ruler on the throne seat. All right, a self-willed, prideful, boastful, greedy, ungrateful, lazy king is going to sit on the throne seat, and that's not what the Lord is going to do for his sons, the chosen nation. So he's putting us through all this for a learning lesson. All right, remember in the garden, they wanted to partake in the knowledge of good and evil. Well, you're learning it the hard way. Verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. So us as the Israelites, the chosen nation, we have to go through this. Let me drop down a little bit because it's a lot on this. Verse 14, it says, if they then that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. So you got to labor. You got to labor in this world for your daily bread, and you got to labor in the ministry, all right, to serve the Lord and work for the Lord, all right? And this is the fight, this is the battle that the Lord set forth for his sons, Yasha'Allah, all right, the sons of God, the Israelites, to go through. This is what you have to go through. This is what you have to endure. This is what you have to persevere through. Let me see. Bear me one moment. I'm dropping down. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's go down to verse 40. Verse 46. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 46. It says, I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else when it was given him to have restrained him from sinning. So Esdras is like, if we're going through all this because Adam failed in the beginning, it would have been better for you to not even give the earth to Adam or restrain him from sinning, so we won't have to go through this, right? Valid questions. Verse 47. Valid frustrations, right? Verse 47. For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee. All right, and that's why Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ, he became that second Adam and sacrificed himself so that we can have that adoption back to our power, Abba Yahweh. All right, as his sons again. Verse 49. For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death? And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain. And that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have all walked in the most wicked ways of all. Right? So you got to go through all of this, right? You got to go through all of this. You got to go through this suffering. You got to go through this pain. You got to go through working these 9-to-5s under your oppressor, under his system, all right? His economic system. You got to go through this. That's the condition of the battle, which is what we're going to read right here. This is how the Lord set it up. This is how he wanted his story to play out before the kingdom of heaven is established on planet Earth. Verse 57, 2 Ezra chapter 7, verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I have said. So you got to overcome the world, and then the kingdom is yours. So, yeah, man, you see people waxing worse and worse and getting more stressed out as life gets gets more and more harder to live under these oppressive reigns and decrees. But that's the condition of the battle. And only those fit to overcome will overcome. And that's the elect, beginning with the 144,000. So I wanted to do a lesson touching on that video. I know, yeah, man. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.